Hello everyone, my name is Nicoya, and this is 3D printing! Yay! So I've been doing a little 3D printing lately, and one of the projects I did was to make a bike mount for my camera, or a camera mount for my bike. I'm not sure which way around that goes, but it attaches a bicycle to a camera, or a camera to a bicycle, one or the other. Anyways, you can see it down here at the bottom here. It is this little plastic piece that goes around behind. And as you can see, it's on my print bed here of my lovely Lulzbot Taz 6. And I designed a little space in here for a zip tie, and this part is where the camera mounts to, and then obviously this attaches to the fork leg. And you can see halfway through printing here, it is in fact printing out with like support material and stuff. So that's kind of cool. And so to get started with this, of course, we first need to actually design something, which means taking a few measurements, because as we can see in here, the fork leg sort of bends in a little bit and it sweeps back quite a bit, and so and also has a round profile here, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. So we need to measure those things and get them into the world of our CAD program. So measure we do. So interestingly enough, this fork leg, this is kind of rotated, but whatever, you'll have to deal with it. Fork leg has an exact 30-degree backwards sweep and a exact 5-degree angle in, which probably means that someone else designed it in CAD and used really convenient numbers for it. This is some measurements of the actual size of it, but we're not really going to use that too much. This here is a cutout of the profile. What it is, I got a pair of scissors and I cut out the rough shape of the profile and I fit it, and I use the same scissors to trim it again, and basically I kept working until I got the profile. And the profile actually ends right about there. I cut in a little ways further just to make sure I got the whole thing, which is actually slightly awkward because now I don't actually know what the center reference point is, but I can kind of guess just based on other measurements. Anyways, we'll get rid of this. So Fusion 360, this is a fun thing. Actually, I'm just going to minimize that. This is kind of fun. It is completely free as long as you don't make a whole lot of money off of it, and so it is very popular, I guess, amongst the creator community. So kind of cool. Anyways, the first thing we do, we create a component. I've already made this here. Oh, and also this crashed earlier, so it complained about the fact that it's being recovered. Yeah. So so we make a component. We give it a name. And we fucking activate it because we want to do that. And did that screw up? I wanted that in there. Hang on, I'm just going to delete that. Anyways, make the component, we activate it, and now we do stuff. So the first thing we want to do is I actually want to turn on my layout grid. Now I'm going to insert a picture onto this plane here. So it's not the wrong angle, so we rotate it, and it's all the wrong size, but to get it the right size, we have to say OK first, and we'll zoom right into it. And what we do is we say calibrate. And I happen to know that from there to about there is, yeah, it's slightly off axis, but whatever, 25 millimeters. And that becomes very giant because it imported really small at first. The next thing we want to do is we actually want to go back and edit this. Edit. Thank you. I want to edit that, and we want to set this opacity down so we can actually see things through it. And we want to basically line it up about, I want to say, not there. It'll have to be, hang on. This part is kind of eyeballing. It's a pain in the ass, but you do what you got to do. So that is about 12.5 up and 12.5 down. Good enough. And let me see, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it was 18 across, I think. Let me just double check here. I actually have the a few different versions of this. I don't care about the auto backup. Fuck you. Yeah, it crashed earlier, as I was saying. I'll go back to this sketch and double check what my original dimension was. How wide are you? Really, I have no dimensions on this at all. 18. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we should be 9 over, which we are. So that means when we're placing the sketch items in the middle, everything will be beautiful and wonderful and nice and happy. Right, so we want to create a sketch because everything, absolutely everything in this program is based off sketches. And we are going to want to make an ellipse because someone made this bicycle in CAD and they use an ellipse too. So we're going to want it to be 25 tall, and then we're going to have it 18 wide. Boom, we're done. And I'm going to put this in the center. Ding. And you see the curve matches up basically as accurately as I could cut it, which is pretty darn good. So that gets us our starting shape in here. From here things get kind of annoying. Getting these constraints right is a royal pain in the ass. Why are you still blue? Anyway, here. Yeah, you turn this on and it changes the color of the sketch item based on whether it thinks it's fully constrained. And oh, I can rotate that. That's why. And boop. Boom. This is not being semi-corner. Why is it doing now? I can see probably over here. I go from there to there. Hey, there we go. Awesome. Now it's constrained. It's all black. It's cool. It's super awesome. And I definitely don't hate my life because this program's a little buggy. It is kind of a young program, so you have to forgive it a little bit. Anyway, we have our base shape. It is fully constrained. We're happy. Everything is grand and wonderful. Now we need to create an offset. And we don't do this with the offset tool because the offset tool is really annoying. It's insane and buggy and seriously gives me cancer every time. So we'll just make another ellipse. It's not constrained to anything, and it does have the vertical constraint here. Why couldn't I add that earlier? It's totally cool. Apparently it's just annoying. So we want to move this on top of that one like that, and then we want to dimension it. So D, give me that line, and this is going to be D41 because I've been using this file previously to try and do this before, and it didn't really work very well. So D41 plus 2 millimeters, boom, done. This one is going to be, what's that one? D40 probably? D42, okay. D42 plus 2 millimeters, done. So this will give us sort of an outside edge around here. It'll give a little room for the foam tape, which is actually going to be mounting this, which I guess I closed that window. Actually, did I close that window? No, I shrank that window. Where is that one? Yeah, this one. Hello. Oh, that's over here. So, yeah, when I mount it, actually I guess it doesn't really show. When I mount to the fork leg here, there's going to be a piece of foam tape in between, and there's going to be a zip tie, which you can't really see behind there. Anyway, forget that. Make sure I can see that preview over here. There we go. So that's going to leave a gap for our foam tape. It's about 1 millimeter. You know, we're only going to be using like this part of the arc here, so the exact dimensioning there doesn't really matter all that much. What does matter is that it has the same curve, and we have that. So we're going to add another one for the outside, and we're going to make sure that's vertical and that's horizontal, and then coincident constraint to place this in the center. Now we're going to dimension this line, and that is going to be, let me see, this one was D43, and that's going to be plus 20. That'll give us 10 mil either side. This one is going to be D42 plus 10 on either side. Hurrah! Ooh, excuse me. Good lord. Had some pizza for lunch. So that's fully constrained. It's fully lovely. It's fully awesome. I'm going to move some of these down a bit so they don't keep on trampling over each other and we can see them. And get that there. Yeah, that's nice and pretty. So now if I want to go in and change this, I can do that at any time. And everything will be reflected, which is kind of cool. So I can make this, 30 millimeters wide, and ding, everything works. Yay. Back to 25. All right. So now what we want to do is, these are all constrained, so that's good. So we're going to make a line, and we're going to make it from this one to this one. I'm going to make sure that's horizontal. And now we're going to dimension that from there. Can I? No, I need to do it to the center point. That's what I need to do. There. Thank you. And I want this to be... How much do I want this to be? So I want it to be, let's see, 5. I want it to be 25 overall, and that's not what I wanted. So give me a horizontal constraint. Ding! Yay! And it's black. That's the color we like. Now I want to mirror that to across that. Good enough. That'll do. That'll do. Cool. I hit the wrong button. Let me do that again. Mirror that across one of these, doesn't matter. And say okay this time. Yay, it works. So now this is the main, I'm going to turn this into a layout line. This is going to be the main body here that we are going to extrude upwards. But we also want to put in a second little sketchy bit here for our blah 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 blah. We want it for our arc. 3-point arc, probably. Sure, why not? Actually, before I do that, yeah, I want to make a line. So up about here, we'll make a line from about there to there. Why not? I like that line. It's pretty cool. And we are going to dimension that line. Oops, hang on. Line done. Dimension that line from there to there, and I'm gonna make that 3 mils. Why not? That's gonna be the end of our wall. Anyways, we need a place for our zip tie to go. It's kind of important, and so what we're gonna do. Oh, I need another line, don't I? We're gonna need another line. I'm gonna make that one like that, and like that. That looks lovely, and we want to make this one, and I'm going to make this one tangent to that, so that we can, I'm going that backwards, aren't I? God fucking damn it. There's going to be a lot of cuts in this. Okay, well that saved nothing, which is cool. I guess it only auto-saves every 5 minutes. Right. Bloody hell. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Insert canvas. Open. Rotate. And move it. Okay. Canvas is right click on canvas. Tolerate. And from there to there. That's 85. Thank you. Pretty big. Canvas plane. And this will do it. Thank you. Okay. So that's probably half. That's 9. Good enough. Okay. Great. Sketch on plane. And sketch. Lips. It's vertical. Horizontal. It's awesome. And it goes into that. There. And then mention this axis D. 5. Mention this axis D. 18. Boom. That's what I'm going to say this time. Thank you. Okay. That takes weird. Now good. Yeah. Right. So I want to lips. Vertical. Horizontal. Straight. Goes in. Moves. Center. And mention. Not that one. That one. That's D. What was this? D42 plus 2. Mention this one. D41 plus 2. Boom. Alright. Select that. Guide. Lips. Vertical. Horizontal. Straight. Goes in. Mention. No. Mention. That. And that's going to be this, which is D3 plus 20. Mention this, which is D4 plus 20. Boom. Okay, now we do one thing. Like there to there. Yes, that's all perfect. Mention there to there. Yes, that'll be 5, 25, so horizontal. Now, sketch drawer. That to, no, what do you got to you? Okay, picking right up where we left off. This is going to be our main body. And we want, actually, could I dimension it directly from there? Maybe I can. No, I can't get coincident to that, can I? I'm just trying to think here. This is slightly stressing me out because of fucking crash, which reminds me, let's save again. Thank you. Right. So we saved. We're all happy and good. And if we crash again, it's no problem, we can recover. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed that jump cut slash fast forward thing. So what I want to do is I want to make a curve that kind of comes around here and is a certain distance from here and actually manages to split this thing. We just make an arc in here. Will this make us happy? We'll be on that line, and then we'll be on that line, And can we, yeah, it's fine like that. And then we'll be somewhere on this line. And let's see what we can dimension. Can we dimension this from here to here? Yes, we can. So let's make that 3 mil. And dimension from here to here. This wasn't working in a different sketch, so it's going to be equal to D48. Thank you. And now we can dimension from, no, I'm going to have to do the tangent thing, aren't I? Bloody hell. All right, make a line just right about here, like that. Thank you. Now, I want tangent. Hang on, I'm going to save this, because this is what was crashing last time. Okay, tangent. Maybe it's from here to here. Does that work? Can I select you? No, that doesn't work. Okay, can I really not do like, oh, hey, there we go. Okay, yes, we're good. Now, what I think I will do is instead of trying to measure from here, I'm just going to add on to that dimension. So, dimension from here to here, that is going to be that divided by D. So D43 over 2 plus, and I'm going to say 5 mils. Boom. Done. Everything is happy. This is going to be X because it's layout. So now we have 2 shapes, which is perfect because later on, when I project this up at the top, I'm going to want to extrude only this side and not both sides. Okay, I think we're good. Let's save again. God help me. If this crashes, I will cry. Okay, we can turn off that sketch now. We can stop this. Turn off that canvas, I mean, not the sketch we want. So now we have a lovely sketch, and we can flip that around and be happy, and everything is nice. So we select that. Multiple selections, that's wonderful. Actually, hang on. Select that and that. There we go. And we want to extrude that, and we want to do two-sided. And from my learnings and knowing things, I know I want to go 25 mils up, and then I think 35 down was what I wanted. And the reason we want to do it like that is because, let's go on the right side here. So you have their center plane here. What we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to rotate this, and it's going to rotate around, hang on, go the other way. There we go. It's going to rotate around this point because it's annoying. It's not that bad, I guess, but actually it's going to rotate like somewhere around here, I think. Anyway, it's going to, what the result is that this side's going to come up a lot. And so when we create a new sketch on this plane to do our actual camera brackety thing out here, it's going to end up a ways down here, some distance. It doesn't really matter particularly. We just want to make sure it doesn't overlap the cut in that we're going to do at the bottom. Anyway, this is fine. We can change it later. God damn it. I'm too used to Blender where shift and middle mouse is panning, and then this is just middle mouse, and it's the opposite here, and it makes me cry. But I'm okay. All right, so we got this. The next thing we want to do is we want to make the cutouts, which means that we'll create a sketch on the top plane here, and we will turn on the visibility of that one because we want to project in basically just that. So I want to project, and I want to select, I'm going to hide this body for a second. I want to select that, and that, and that, and that. Yes, it should do. And I'll say OK, and that actually should be good enough. Boop. So, yes, okay, I can do that. So now we're going to show this body again, and please let this work. So it's kind of being angry before, and that's 12. Yes, it's working. It was leaving the edge before because it was doing it slightly differently, and it was being super annoying, but now it's not. So anyways, we're coming down 12. I'm going to delete that. We're going to say OK. We're going to turn that back on because we want to do another extrusion of -6, so that we end up with a little 6 mil slot here. Yay. So that's pretty sweet. That's exactly what we want. Next thing we want to do is we want to do that again at the bottom, and I'll do that based off of that sketch, I think. So we'll hide sketch 7 because there were a bunch of failed sketches earlier. Create one down here. Hide the body again. Bodies, go away. So we want to sketch project. And the nice thing about projection is that everything updates when I change things. So if I go back and like change the width, it all updates. And it's lovely and nice and awesome. Might be able to duplicate this sketch, but I haven't figured out how. I'll figure it out one day, maybe, possibly, probably not. I'll just be lazy. Extrude, and we're gonna go again, -12, cut in, and say okay, and turn this back on because screw you. And extrude, and -6, that's not 6, that's 5, 6, sweet. Okay, so now we have a thing that looks like it can be strapped to a bicycle. We're going to turn off the grid right now because we don't really need it and it's getting slightly annoying and my shift key is not working. That's cool. So we can turn off that sketch and that sketch. So yeah, so now we have this thing. This is all we really need to do to it in this orientation. The next thing we need to do is we need to tilt it back that way by 5 degrees. We need to tilt it that way by 30 degrees. And so we are going to say move. And we do not want to move it centered there. We really kind of don't. Cancel. So we want to move, and we'll just select the whole damn thing. And yeah, so it sets the point back there for whatever reason. I don't know if it picks randomly or what. In fact, if I turn on the grid, oh yeah, I guess that's basically just the origin. So that's cool. Anyway, we want this to rotate 5 degrees that way, and then 30 degrees that way, because that's what I wrote down on my paper. And we say okay. So now that is rotated. So now you can see if we cut across here and then like if we go to the right, cut across there basically at the blue line and come a centimeter down, that's going to put us like right around there, which is right around where we want it to be. So that's cool. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to make a new sketch because everything is based on sketches. So make a nice horizontal sketch. And now what we want to do is not that, we want to project an intersection of this body. And we say okay. And through the magic of everything, if you turn the body off, we now have that projected in. So that's cool. And one of the nice things is because of the mysteries of geometry, this is actually completely vertical between these 2 points, which is really handy because we are going to mess around with it. So what we want to do is we don't want a 2-point rectangle. Actually, do we? Yeah, we kind of do. Let's make a 2-point rectangle. So we are going to put that, yeah, we're going to put it wherever the fuck we feel like. Because we're going to dimension it. Yay. So this dimension, we are going to be 35. Why not? And then this dimension is going to be, I think it's 35 by 35 actually. Should be fine. Cool, that's about right. And I actually want to put a line between there and there, like that. And then what I want to do is I want to save. Thank you. I want to do a midpoint, I'm pretty sure. Midpoint of that and that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So everything's purple, which means it's all driven, I think, possibly, maybe. Don't really know, but it's a nice color, so we'll go with it. So now that is the top part, and we're going to stop the sketch, turn our body back on. So now we see how the platform is going to come out to the side here. It's going to sort of do this sort of thing. But before we can get the platform to come off, we need to make it go somewhere. So we'll get an offset plane from here, and we do minus a centimeter. And now we're going to sketch on here. And what we want to do is we want to project an intersection with this body. Thank you. And then we want to do a regular projection from this. Ooh, excuse me. To get our length out. So, and we can turn off the body. And we can actually turn off that sketch. Clean things up a little. So we're going to do the same thing again by putting a line here and here to make things agreeable with. And ooh, do I know that distance? I probably shouldn't name that. Hang on. Well, I am going to make a rectangle first. Hi, rectangle. Now I am going to make these collinear. Boop. And this midpoint I'm going to line over here. And then I'm going to make a dimension out of that. No, not out of that. I want a dimension the other way. That's the dimension I want. I want to make this equal to the other dimension, so I'm going to stop that for a moment. Go back here. Can I please edit the sketch? Thank you. That was D62. Stop sketch. Go back to this one. Can I just double click on it? Thank you. So this, D62. Boom! Done. So now we have two rectangles floating in space, like ships passing in the something or other. Can't remember. Anyway, what we want to do now is we want to select that, and say loft. And we're going to unhide that. And that's going to be a join. So that's going to make all of that geometry there, which is lovely. Boop. So now we have a platform sticking off the edge of our mount, and that's probably going to make us really angry when we try to actually fillet these corners, so we're going to not fillet those corners, and we're just going to leave them really rough, because the filleting tool is kind of annoying. But this corner we should be able to, this one right here. And of course the outside corner, because these are the ones you're going to bash your knees on. Ugh, do not want. I thought I turned that off. There we go. Done. Alright, so now this one, I actually want to go back to that sketch. Can I? Thank you. Double clicking sometimes works. It's amazing. So we're going to make a circle. Boop doo. Don't care how big it is. Actually, I do care how big it is, so I'm going to dimension that. Thank you. That is going to be 12 millimeters wide. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, yeah, we're dimensioning right now. No, don't do that. That'd be weird. Hang on. D, that, and that. Thank you. So this needs to be 12.5 in. So anyways, we're going to make a screw hole in the bottom, and we are going to do that by making a couple of, I'm going to want this to be, how much do I want this to be? So it's 6 millimeter, I'm going to put an 8. All right, I want that 8 in the other direction. Minus 8. Fine, let me just move it. There. Now, dimension this to this to this, please. Thank you. 8 mils. Right, so this is going to be the screw hole. This is the size of the head of the screw that I have to mount the camera. And so, I want that to be a little ways out there. There we are. Yeah, put over there. So that's going to be in the bottom part, but I'm going to do it from the top because I know how deep I want the hole to be from the top, but not from the bottom, because the bottom is like some distance away. Who knows? I know I want this 3 millimeters down because that's the length of the screw, you know, plus the amount that threads into the bottom of the camera. Anyways, that's going to be the space for the head, and the space for the shaft is going to be, I'm going to get my vernier out and double check. I think it's 7, I want to say, maybe 6.5. I'm going to say that's 6.5 actually. Yeah, 6.5. 6.5 seems fine. I'm not actually going to print this out. I'm just showing how I did it. So, let me see, 6.5. Boom. That is dimension. All I have to do is not click that. I need to click that. Put that in the middle. Boom. So I'm going to extrude that down. And it's going to be lovely, and everyone's going to be happy, and nobody has to die. All right. So now what I need to do is I need to take another circle. This one's going to be 5, actually 4.8. I need a bit of draft. This is going to be the little peg that sits at the back here. And so I need to drag that up to be somewhere around there. I want to make this horizontal, vertical, that to to that, please. Thank you. And then I'm going to dimension this to be 14 millimeters away. Oh, that's a lot more than 14. Boom. Do I want that further in? I might have made this wider. Hang on. I'm going to put this at 12. There we go. That sort of looks a little more centered and stuff. Actually, if I show that sketch... No. That one? No. That one? No. Oh wait, sketch 9 is over here. Or sketch 10 or whatever. So I can't see it, which is lovely. But if I show 9 and 10, and go back to the top, we can see, yeah, it's going to end up sort of slightly in, basically in the middle. So that's fine. And then that stuff's going to end up, you know, roughly a lot of meat on either side. So we're cool. Yeah, we're good. Anyway, so this is going to be the little post that ends up in the back, and I happen to know that that is 5 millimeters tall. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that and that, extrude to that. And I'm going to say OK, and then this little donut we're going to extrude to minus 3 millimeters. Boom. So you can see that that makes sort of a little hole in there. And if I actually knew how to use the cross-section tool, I could show you a cross-section. Is there a cross-section tool in here? Section analysis. Wow. Oh, look at that. That's fancy. Oh yeah, check that out. So you can see how we got our little hole here. The screw's going to go up into there, and everyone's going to be happy, and nobody has to die. Cancel. Go away. All right. So this is basically in roughly the shape I want it to be in, but we need to ease over some of these edges because, like I said, if you bash your knee on this, you're going to be sad. Very, very sad. So let's see what we can fill it. First thing we want to do is put in some structural fillets here so that we don't snap this off. And this, I think I can go to 5 mil. Actually, hang on. Because we don't want to get closer than about 12.5 and just eyeballing that. That's probably about as far as we want to go. So that looks fine. These corners are the corners of death. We're going to fillet those to 5 mil again. Yeah, it's basically good. And let me see. Can I fillet this without causing the world to explode? 5 mil? No, I definitely don't want 5 mil. 2 mil. Just easing that over. That's not too bad. That's sort of a disaster there. Yikes. Hang on. Let's fillet this back part here first. And if I can go 2 mil fillet there. Yeah, sorta, maybe, kinda. How about a 3 millimeter? That's not bad. Actually, can I go all the way to 5? Hey, that'll be nice. Yeah, cool. Good enough. So, fillet this and this. And sure. Is that what I want? Or do I want to fillet that? Questions. Hang on. Let me fillet in here. Nope. Mill fillet? That's getting slightly angry there. Let's not fillet that. Let's fillet this and then this. And I'll make that a 2 millimeter fillet. Nope. The fillet tool gets angry. This is such a pain. 1 mil. 1 mil I can do. And that, God, looks terrible. Let's not fillet that. Let's just leave it sharp, and then we'll just pretend that we'll never bash our knee against it. We do want to fillet the top edge, though, here. These are definitely points that you don't want to bash yourself on. And we'll give this a 2 mil. Good enough. And that is pretty much a bike mount for a camera, or a camera mount for a bike or something. I don't know. From here you can take it into a 3D printing program and make it all 3D printed. You could add a few more fillets. You can get really angry at the fillet tool. you can do a lot of things that are not very productive. But actually, if I fill in that one, will that make things happy? Ooh, that looks a lot smoother, at least. I still don't like that section there. Now, if I... Ooh, I can fill it all the way along there. And all the way to almost along there. Yes, it's not bad. Yeah, okay, I like that. Yeah, there's just this little angry part here, which is really angry. Holy yikes. That is like some serious anger there. Let's see what happens if we do that, and then kind of fill that to like some amount. What if we go like huge on that and just like completely mash it? Nope, doesn't like that. Okay. It is getting slightly angry right now. I should probably not tempt fate. That is a spectacular surface right there. Like, holy shit. I don't even know what the hell that's doing. But it's not a sharp corner, and you're not going to gouge the fuck out of your leg. So I'm going to go with it. Actually, since I filleted those ones, I feel like I should do the other ones here. So let's just finish this up, make it look pretty. And go like that, and then 2. Yeah. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, nice. That is pretty swag. Okay, so yeah, so put your sticky tape on there, wrap your zip ties around there, and this thing is going nowhere once you bolt your camera to it. And I actually didn't make the bottom one at first, and I only had the top slot, and this just sort of cut off sort of flush about to that plane down there. And I regret that, because when I put on the foam tape and I put the zip tie around the top, this kind of like kicked out from the side of the fork leg, and the vibrations of going over a wooden planked pedestrian overpass managed to shred the foam tape into basically a bunch of foam crumbs, at which point the entire mount slid down to the bottom of my forks and threatened to spin around the other way and get sucked into my spokes. So don't make the mistake that I did, and make this so that it mounts more securely. Now, I did actually switch out to, instead of using foam tape, I used, what's it called, molding tape, which is basically the stuff that they use to put, what do they use that for? They use it to stick basically like rubber moldings and bits of chrome and whatever to your car, and that stuff never comes off, like fucking ever. So if you want to make this basically not come off without you getting out a piece of monofill, or I mean, I guess people use dental floss for that as well, to be able to cut through that foam tape. Mounting the molding tape is what you want. That does not come off on its own. Actually, I'm tempted to break these corners as well with a fillet, but yeah, I'm not actually printing this out since mine is mounted now and it works lovely. But I hope this gives you, a good idea of how to prepare something for printing out in Fusion 3D. And actually, I should actually dump this into the printing utility. So no, one print studio or mesh mixer. So screw you. I'm just going to export this. I need to select something to actually export. Thank you. Yeah, that looks basically good. I want to make sure there's not like anything really hideous going on with the mesh here. It's like I mean, stuff where it like clumps up like that can sometimes be a little weird when it gets into the slicing program. Anyway, we're gonna save this to a file. We'll call it body4 or whatever, and then we'll load this up in Cura, because Cura is not that bad. It's I will say, before 212, the support for, I'm going to hide this for a minute. The support for supports was horrific. It was just really terrible. Where did I save that? I saved that in the wrong place. I saved that in my headlight mount folder. Well, whatever. It exists. So, here it is on the print bed, except we don't want to print it in this orientation. What we want to do is we want to rotate that. Because the printer, the way the strength of the print is in basically the XY axis, because you can have layer separations when it plants down each layer here. Actually, let's just look at the layers, how they're going to print out. Now there will be a bit of support material with this. Let's zoom in a little bit. You can see down at the, come on. So down at the bottom here you can see it's printing a little bit support material. Get rid of that. Different controls again. This one's right click to orbit and then left click to, or middle click to pan around. So yeah. So it's going to print a little bit of support material, but you can see that each of the layers is going to be aligned along basically the long axis from where your support is here out to your actual camera mount, and then back up to the support here. And there's not too much actual printing support here. There's like a couple of layers before the edge of the actual mount comes in, and as you can see here, one layer down, up, a little bit more up. I wish there was a jog here that I could just bump one layer. This is going to print terribly, but whatever. Well, actually, no. If I rotate that, hang on. Get me out of this mode. Solid. This. If I rotate this. So this is one of these tricks here, is that if things aren't looking the way you want them on the print bed, rotate them. So I'm going to rotate that by 90 degrees. And, I mean, this obviously shouldn't make any difference, but it does. There we go. See, that's actually going to print quite nicely. So yeah, since we had this tilted back and angled slightly, the geometry, apparently in this one, intersects slightly with the horizontal, so it'll print like that in 2 layers instead of 1. So I'll start with that little corner there on layer 6. I'll start with this little bit, and then on layer 7, I guess, it'll print in the rest of that surface, and then... Really? You're printing support for that? I guess. Yeah. You can adjust the overhang angles and stuff. But yeah, you see it's printing support for the little knobby thing that the camera sits on. And it's also printing supports for, we can see here, it'll be right about here is when the supports will start coming in for the top of the hole here. And that's kind of important because it's sort of bridging out here and spanning across. And, if we tried to print that there, I'm sorry, this is probably turning into a mess on YouTube. But if we tried to print like those layers across there without the support, chances are it would droop, especially because I print this kind of stuff in... Oh, seriously, you're printing the support all the way up there? Don't be ridiculous. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure it didn't print that support last time. Hang on. 60? That's better. A lot less support that way. Okay, yeah, we don't need that entire support back there. It'll print just fine. It's honestly that much overhang. It's like not that big a deal. So yeah, so this is basically ready to print. I have a custom profile in here for my TAS 6 because Cura, this version does not have a profile for it, and they completely reformatted how the profiles work. And there's actually a little post-processing you'll have to do if you happen to have a TAS 6. Otherwise, the print files it generates won't actually do anything. But I will get into that in a different video. For right now, I'm just going to call this one done. And thank you guys for watching, and hope you enjoyed this one, and you can look forward to more of this possibly if you subscribe and thumbs up the video and do all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.